This is January 2017 and today we've come to Woking to see the lofts of Mick and Lyn Chaplin. Good morning, Mick.
Morning, Keith. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, boy.
Yeah, did you have a good ride down?
Yeah, couldn't find it.
No, all right, yeah, it's a rough old day, isn't
I
it?
tell you what, mate, if I was a pigeon, I'd been gone years ago.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So you've had a good season in 2016, mate?
Yeah, very good season, yeah. I was lucky enough to win the Combine for Falaise.
Yeah.
That was a good win, I had some good wins in the BIC, positions in the BIC and the BBC again, which I like racing in. A number of club firsts as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a real good season.
The Combine, when you had several pigeons, didn't you?
Yeah, well, what happened, I was first and second fed, first and second Combine, fifth Combine, seventh Combine. I had a few come together. It was a good day for me that day because the wind suited me that day. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There was no west in the wind that day, so it suited me.
How many times you won the Combine?
3 times I've won the SMT Combine in the last few years.
Yeah. How about, because you won the Classic also, didn't you?
Yeah, a few years ago I was very lucky. It was a good day again, London South East Classic. It was a real nice club for me to race in. The wind was right again for me. I had 9 pigeons dropped together, 5 old hens and 4 young birds. Could have done with ETS now. Yeah. Anyway, it was chaos, as you can imagine, 1 clock. So I won both classics, first and second, and then I was like 5th and 7th and 9th. But if I'd been on the ETS, it might have been a bit different because I dropped a rubber and everything. So that was a real good day. So you won
the young bird, it's Guernsey, you won the young bird and you won the old hens.
Yeah, won them both. Yeah.
Absolutely fairy tale day. Eh?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that was the first real big win of my career when I started back. Yeah. So that was real pleased. And since then, you know, I've been very lucky and had some reasonable good wins. Never won the national, that's my ambition. Yeah. But been close a couple of times, but I'm going to have a good go this year, so yeah.
This is your Combine winner then, Mick. Can you tell me all about him?
Well, he was a yearling last year. He's a real good racer. He won the Combine by 5 minutes. He also won 4 other club firsts inland. Real consistent pigeon. His father is now in the stock loft. Was probably my best cock. He never won any races, but he flew the channel 20 times. It was always like 35th BIC, 46th BBC and things like this. But he's the father of this pigeon, and his nest mate as well won 2 last year, and so I'm real hopeful next year.
What family is he?
Well, he's a bit of a mixture. The hen, his dam, is an unrung pigeon that was given to me by Tony Hayward. It was a Ruts. He gave it to me. He used to give me lots of pigeons because we were very friendly. And he said, "This will do you some good, Mick." I said, "Okay then."
How long have you been in the sport then, Mick?
Cool, that's a long time. Well, I started when I was 14 in 1962. I started off. Really strange, really, because where I lived in Knapp Hill, it was a hotbed of pigeon racing in those days. There was 5 fanciers within sort of 200 yards of where I lived. There was John Furness, but I started off with pigeons from a chap called Jim Povey, who my mum knew, and my dad built me a 6x4 shed, as everybody does, and I started off like that. And then I got friendly with John Furness because I joined the Woking RPC. There was 2 clubs in Woking then, both with about 25 members each, the good old days, eh? And then I started going around John's, and he started giving me pigeons, and that was my start, really, because I was still at school then. Yeah. And there was a few young lads in the club. There was 6 of them. There's 2 of us still racing, funny enough, but most of the others have died and left out and bits and pieces. So so that's when I started. And then I had, it was very difficult. The competition was so hot in Woking. There was Elliott Brothers, George Speed, John Furness, you know, very difficult to win races. But I was lucky enough to win my first race in '66. I still remember it now, a little black-pied hen, and it was from Nance. And I think I was first club, something like 7th fed, 50th Combine. But in those days, the Combine was like the national, 5,500 pigeons, completely different. Days, like, it was completely different. If you won the Combine, it was like winning the national in those days. Of course, they all laughed and said, "How can that boy win the club? It must have escaped," you know, all the good-natured stuff. And that was the start of me, really. And
this is Mick's very smart loft. It's self-built. The main racing loft is about 20 foot long. It's got a section for young birds, 1 for old bird racers, and 1 for his widowed hens. And in the corner of the garden, he's got a nice little stock loft. This is a scene inside Mick's racing section. and this houses 20 woodland cocks. This is the scene inside Mick's young bird section. Of course, this is January, so these are the old hens.
Yeah, this is a real nice cock. This is a half brother to the Combine winner, same sire, and he's a 3-year-old, but he's my real good distance pigeon. Last year in the BBC, he was second section from Bordeaux. He's flown all the long distances. He's done nothing inland, but this year he's going to be my main Tarbes candidate.
Yeah. What system do you race your old birds in then, Mick?
I race the widowhood system. I race the cocks, obviously. I pair up first week in Feb, and then breed some youngsters from them, take them away, use the normal system. I don't repair once I've bred one set of youngsters. I just separate them then.
Yeah.
I give a number of training tosses, obviously, to the widow cocks before the season starts, and then no more training. They train themselves in the morning, hour in the evening, keeps them fit. Yeah. I race them nearly every week, and that's what I do with the cocks. Yeah. Near the end of the season, I haven't in the past, but I might do this year because I'm going to have a real good go at Tarbes. I'm going to repair some of my good old cocks and some of my hens, because some of my hens, they've won more than my cocks in the past when I race them as old hens, and I'm wasting a few of them, and I've got some really good hens, so I'm going to have a real good go. So I'm going to be doing that this year.
Yeah. How about feeding?
The feeding is pretty straightforward, really. I never break them down. I feed a good widowhood mix early part of the year for the sprint races, and then when we get onto the longer races, I add a bit of Irish mix and bits like this. So yeah, it's straightforward feeding, really.
Just as normal.
Yeah, nothing special. Yeah, they get all the normal grits and bits and pieces like this. I put aviform in the water. I've always done that. Put it in every day. Done that for donkey's years. Whether it's any good or not, I don't know, but I do it. So it doesn't seem to do any damage. So that's what I normally do.
Another nice cock, Mick. What's this one?
Oh, this is my top stock cock. He's a 6-year-old, father of the Combine winner and father of the blue cock. He was very consistent, raced. He's been across the channel about 20 times. Not a great winner, but very consistent, always on the day from the long races, etc. He goes right back to my old Wildemetian Burgers. His great-grandfather won 6th and 13th Open Poe. And he's very similar to him. As you can see, he's very similar to the Combine cock as well.
Yeah, this is the governor then, Mick?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can't do without her.
Yeah,
very
this is
useful.
Lynn, your wife?
Yeah.
Hi.
So do you like the pigeons in Lynn?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I know you do a bit of work for them.
Yes, I do. Yeah, we do the ringing of them, don't we?
Yeah.
We stamp their wings and
help out like that. And of course, in the past when I was working away, you feed
Clean
them
them
and
out.
you can clock them in, not frightened, handle them, no problem.
You're into cats, I believe.
yeah, I love the cats.
Yeah, you work with cats, don't you?
Do work in a cattery, yes.
So tell me about your cats.
Well, we used to. How many cats? Well, we used to have about 10 cats, didn't we?
Yeah.
Now we've only got 3.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Yes, but of course, when Mick started the pigeons, we couldn't have the cats out, so we've got them in the house and a pen on the side.
And so you work in a cattery, don't you?
And I work in the cattery, yes, yeah.
But usually, because we had a cat years ago, and it kept the other cats away from the pigeon loft. So it can be a good thing.
Yes, yeah, I suppose because one of your friends had a Burmese.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We were talking about that earlier on.
That was trained,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure about ours, especially our ginger ones, because they just they love the food, don't they? So.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never risked it. I know a lot of people do it, but I've never been brave enough to try it.
Yeah.
So we got the 2 Jack Russells, so they're the ones that keep
They're
everything
even better,
away.
aren't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So, yeah.
So cracking in, Mick. What's this one?
Yeah, well, I'm very lucky with my hens. As you know, I race the old hens at the end of the season. They're locked up widowed hens all year, and then I bring them out and race them as old hens. Now this hen, she's been very consistent for me. She won the section in the old hens last year in the BBC. I think she's about 4th or 5th Open. So she's very good. They normally have the 3 or 4 races at the end of the season. But as I say, this year she's going to go to Tarbes.
Mick, what's that banging in the background?
Well, that's the shooting at the Bisley National Rifle Association ranges. We're about 3 miles from them.
So it's the guns.
So that's all the guns. So obviously there's some shooting on today. So it must be a competition perhaps.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What families of pigeons do you keep, Mick?
Well, when I started off with burgers and wildemeesh. Kept them together for a few years. Then I introduced some bush arts. Bred them in. That was quite good. And then I was very friendly with Tony Hayward. We used to sort of meet every Friday for a drink. And end of the season, he used to give me a few hens to pair up, and he gave me some of his Van Loons. So I had some Van Loons. And then recently, last 2 years, he gave me a couple of Roots hens that he said, he wouldn't tell me what they were off. He said, these will do you some good. Neither of them were rung. They were sort of late breds at the end of the year. And one of them is the mother of the Combine winner. So so she's going to stay together with the good old stockcock. So my family is a bit of a mixture. I've also bought some Jan Ardens in from the House of Arden. I bought a pair of them in 2 years ago, and I'm slowly putting them as well. So hopefully I can get some distance into my pigeons, because I've had some problems in flying tarbs in the last few years.
Yeah. There's another cracking in, Mick. What's this one?
Yeah, this is another one of my widowhood racing hens. She's been very consistent. 2-year-old. Last year again in the BBC and the BIC. I think about 15th open in one, 30th again in the other. They come quite well, my hens. They come, I normally send about 8 to 10. I normally clock them all within about half an hour. So they're very consistent. And again, she's bred down out of my stock loft. She's a mixture again, wildemeesh, burger, and a bit of Van Loon.
Tell us a bit about your young birds then, Mick.
Well, I normally breed between 35 and 40.
Yeah.
When I wean them, after about a week after weaning, I put them on darkness. Let them out regularly, obviously, morning and afternoon, hours exercise, forced exercise sometimes. When I first wean them, I normally feed them on peas for the first month, and I put them on a good young bird mixture. I train them quite hard to start with the young birds. Go down, I'm quite close to the M3, so I get on the M3 and I walk that way down Basingstoke and all the way down there, down to the coast. And again, once I've trained them before the first race, I don't normally train them after that. If we're going across the channel, I might give them a few tosses from down the coast, like Hayling Island. They race to the perch, although I put about half a dozen nest bowls in on the floor, etc. So if they want to pair up, I let them. And that's about it, really. I normally stop about 10 young cocks, after about five races. I don't normally put them across the channel just in case I lose them, because I obviously need to take 10 young cocks over into my racing loft for the following year. So that's what I normally do.
You're saying you like young stuff?
Young stuff, yeah. That's what. Well, I find that the young pigeons always do best. What I'm talking about, the yearlings. So at the end of every season, my 20 cocks.
Keep a few babies back.
Yeah, my 20 cocks. There'll always be 10 babies going in there, and I keep 10 old ones. So that's how I do it. I keep meticulous records, and pigeons haven't won, or don't think they're going to win, they're gone.
Yeah. All right, Mick. Thank you very much for having me around this morning, mate. It's been a great pleasure to see you.
And you, Keith, thanks for coming down, and look forward to talking to you again soon.